Percy Jackson is a 12-year-old boy who has always been different from ordinary children. He has difficulties concentrating at school, and sometimes he sees things that nobody else can see. He likes studying Greek mythology and spending time with Grover, the only friend who fully accepts and understands him. Percy's life turns upside down during a school trip to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. When he accidentally pushes a school bully into a fountain, Percy discovers that he might have some magical abilities. He also gets attacked by his teacher, Mrs. Dodds, who turns into a supernatural creature and accuses him of stealing something. A pen that was given to Percy by his teacher, Mr. Brunner, transforms into a sword and helps him kill Mrs. Dodds. She disappears, but nobody even remembers her existence. After the incident, Percy gets expelled from school and returns home to his mother Sally and his nasty stepfather Gabe. Percy's mother decides to take him for a ride to their Montauk cabin. There, she reveals the truth about his true identity. It turns out that all the Greek myths are real, and 13 years ago she had an affair with one of the Greek gods. It means that Percy is a demigod, and now, with the truth revealed, his life is in serious danger. Grover shows up at the cabin and confesses to being a satyr, tasked with protecting Percy from ancient monsters and guiding him to Camp Half-Blood, a safe place for demigods. Sally, Percy, and Grover rush to the camp, but a huge minotaur starts chasing them. When Sally sacrifices herself to save Percy, he fights the monster and defeats it. Once Grover and Percy reach the camp, Percy's school teacher, Mr. Brunner, who is actually Chiron, greets him. After Percy meets the camp's director, Dionysus, Chiron takes the boy for a tour and tells him more about camp life. Percy doesn't know which god is his father, so he has to stay at Hermes' house with other unclaimed children. He befriends Hermes' son, Luke, who wants to comfort Percy after losing his mother. Ares' kids and their leader, Clarice, bully Percy, but he uses his magical powers again and stands up for himself. Percy catches the attention of a curious girl named Annabeth, Luke's best friend and daughter of Athena. She uses her invisibility hat to spy on the boy and learn more about him. Together with other demigods, Percy participates in a capture the flag competition. Clarice and her goons attack him once again and beat him up. When Annabeth appears and pushes Percy into the water, his wounds quickly heal, and Poseidon claims him as his son. Later, Chiron and Dionysus tell Percy about an upcoming war between Zeus and Poseidon. Zeus believes that Percy is the one who stole the Master Bolt, but Percy never did that. However, to prevent the war, Percy Jackson has to find the bolt and return it to Zeus. Chiron and Dionysus think that Hades has it and is hiding it in the underworld. Percy hesitates, but Grover tells him that his mother might be alive after all, and Hades keeps her hostage in his realm. So, Percy decides to embark on a dangerous quest. First, he needs to get a prophecy from the Oracle, who tells about a possible betrayal from one of his friends. But Percy chooses Grover and Annabeth to accompany him on this journey, hoping that he can trust them. From the start of the quest, Annabeth tries to control everything, which annoys Percy. The guys quickly face their first challenge when the Furies try to catch them. They seek refuge in Medusa's garden, and she invites them for a meal. She tells them the true story of how Poseidon and Athena made her a monster. She tries to persuade Percy to betray his friends, but he resists and decapitates Medusa. Percy rebels and sends Medusa's head to Olympus as a message for the gods. The kids take a train to continue their journey. Percy and Annabeth get a chance to grow closer and learn more about each other's past. Annabeth tells Percy about her dad, who loved her, but then married a woman who saw the girl as a burden, forcing Annabeth to run away from home. Then, she met Luke and another demigod named Talia, and together with Grover, they made it to Camp Half-Blood. Everyone, except Talia, who was killed by a monster. Zeus turned the girl into a magic tree, aiming to protect the camp. The next morning, another creature boards the train to pursue Percy. Echidna, a legendary mother of monsters, intends to kill the kids and sends one of her babies, Chimera, to chase them. Percy, Annabeth, and Grover get off the train and escape. Annabeth decides to ask for her mother's help, and the trio heads to Athena's temple in St. Louis, which is actually the Gateway Arch. But Athena wants to punish the kids for their trick with Medusa's head and allows Echidna and Chimera to enter the temple. Percy wants to save his friends and goes to fight the monsters alone. During the fight, he falls down from the arch, but Poseidon saves his life again. Meanwhile, Annabeth spots 3 strange women near Athena's temple. Those 3 are the Fates, who are knitting the web of life. Annabeth notices one of them cutting someone's thread, which is a clear sign of the upcoming death of someone from the trio. Grover and Annabeth find Percy safe and sound. The friends are happy to be reunited, but there is also some bad news. After the incident at the Arch, they are wanted by the police, which means they can't use public transport anymore. They continue their journey on foot but quickly get stopped by the sound of a motorbike. The biker calling for them is actually Ares, the god of war. He hints that he might help them get to the underworld if they agree to talk to him at a nearby diner. There, he offers the group a deal. He'll help them if Annabeth and Percy sneak into an amusement park and retrieve his favorite shield. They leave Grover with Ares and head to the park, which was actually created by Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship. He caught his wife Aphrodite cheating on him with Ares and set up a trap, causing Ares to forget his shield there. To retrieve the shield, Percy has to sacrifice himself, but Annabeth persuades Hephaestus to let them go. They return the shield to Ares, and he loads the trio into a livestock truck heading to Las Vegas. There, they'll have to find Hermes in the Lotus Casino, and he will send them to Los Angeles where they'll finally reach the portal to the underworld. In the truck, Grover reveals that he has a clue about who stole the thunderbolt. He suspects Clarice, the daughter of Ares. They want to warn Chiron and contact him, but only find Luke and tell him their theory. Percy has a mysterious dream where he overhears someone's conversation about Zeus and Poseidon's confrontation. After getting off the truck, Grover frees all the animals that were inside, right in the center of Las Vegas. The trio heads to the Lotus Casino to meet Hermes. It's a dangerous place where everyone can lose any sense of time and space, so they have to be very careful. However, Grover meets another satyr and goes after him, forgetting everything about his friends and their mission. Annabeth and Percy find Hermes, but he refuses to help them. Taking into account his troubled relationship with Luke, Hermes believes that he will only worsen the situation by interfering in other gods' business. At least, Annabeth manages to steal his car keys. Together with Percy, she finds Grover, and they run to Hermes' car. Nobody knows how to drive, but they make it to California anyway. There, Percy hopes to meet his father but receives a message telling him that the war between Poseidon and Zeus is now inevitable. Percy intends to go on with his mission, so Poseidon's envoy gives him 4 orbs that will help him and his friends to escape the underworld. Percy, Grover, and Annabeth find an entrance into the underworld, lying under the bed shop of cunning and insidious Procrustes. They sneak into Hades' realm and face Cerberus, a monstrous watchdog with 3 heads. They trick Cerberus and run away, but Grover loses his orb. After Annabeth gets stuck in another trap, she gives her orb to the guys and tells them to go on without her. Suddenly, Percy feels something heavy in his bag and finds the thunderbolt. Ares must have put it in the bag so Percy could deliver it to Hades without even knowing it. Percy and Grover meet Hades, and it turns out that he doesn't need the Master Bolt at all. He wants to retrieve his helmet. It was stolen from him by someone and used to steal the Thunderbolt. Percy realizes that Kronos, the father of gods, is the one standing behind all of this. He promises Hades to return his helmet, and Percy and Grover use their orbs to teleport. They reunite with Annabeth and see Ares approaching them. Percy takes his sword and prepares to fight. He recalls Luke's fighting lessons and uses his magical powers to defeat Ares and retrieve Hades' helmet. Hades' envoy appears to take it back to the underworld and wishes Percy luck with his mission at Olympus. He tells Annabeth and Grover to come back to Camp Half-Blood and continues his way alone. Percy arrives at the Empire State Building, enters Olympus, and meets Zeus. He gives him the Master Bolt and warns him about Kronos. Zeus gets angry and tries to kill Percy, but Poseidon shows up and saves him. Then, he sends his son to the camp, where everyone greets Percy as a hero. There, Percy reveals that Luke was the friend who betrayed him according to the prophecy and stole the Thunderbolt. Luke tries to recruit Percy into Kronos' army, but the boy says no and fights him. Annabeth arrives to rescue Percy, but Luke instantly escapes the camp. Eventually, Percy's mission is over, and he gets back to normal life with his mom, who was released by Hades and waited for him at home. But Percy keeps seeing Kronos in his dreams and realizes that even more dangerous adventures are waiting for him in the future.